Happy Pi Day, Daylight Saving Time Day. I don't know if that's happy or not. I don't think it's very happy. I just lost an hour. Happy springish weather. I'm still wearing a winter coat today, but I have a t-shirt on underneath it, so that's a step up. Today I wanted to bring this video to you to sort of welcome in spring and get started on the spring videos for this channel, and I'm hoping to bring you a video a week if I can get my butt in gear and bring you the content. We've been really busy here. My husband burned up a lot of brush. That's his favorite thing to do, is burn. But I've been building in the terrace garden, and if you followed last year, I built really quickly. Last spring I built a terrace garden on my hillside. We are on the end of a mountain range here, on the very tail end of it. So we get strafed by winds, high winds. We're in zone 7, but we have little microclimate pockets here, and sometimes it's a little bit colder than down in the valley, and sometimes it's warmer depending on where you are in the yard. The top part of our property is forested, and we have a septic field, which is the biggest open spot I have, so I can't plant anything on that other than flowers. And I will be turning that back into meadow again this year. I'll be reseeding that meadow again. But I started building the terrace beds above the septic field last year because I wanted to put in a food garden. So I really quickly dug in the terraces and found that the soil was washing off every time I'd water. It was kind of washing off into the next terrace. So last fall, when the garden was done, I went in and properly dug the terraces and built wooden beds. So wherever I could. There's still tree stumps in there, and I'm leaving those just to kind of hold the soil in place. So I'm working around the tree stumps, and there was a lot of blackberry that kept popping up throughout the season last year, and I just kept pulling it. Hopefully this year I won't have as much a problem with it, but I know it'll still pop up here and there. And then I also have creeping speedwell and some other just weeds in there that took over my beds over winter. So this past week, since we've had warm weather, after work I've been coming out here and just kind of weeding and filling the beds with soil. They had some soil in them, and then I topped them off and put compost on top of all the beds. I didn't get to the bottom ones because I ran out of compost, but we'll get to those soon. And then I need to build the stepping stones pathway up the hillside. So that was today's project. If it warms up a bit, it is pretty chilly right now, and my hands get super cold handling the cold dirt and the rocks and everything. So I'll see how far I can get today with that. Today, since it is Pi Day today, I am going to be making a pie out of my leftover berries from last year. I saved a gallon bag of berries, and I think I'm going to make a pie today, a mixed berry pie for Pi Day. So that'll be fun. But I wanted to also tell you all about this spot where I'm sitting. You might remember me digging out a path above the terrace beds last year, and it led up to my mushroom patch, which is right over there. The sun's coming up right over there. So the mushroom patch is kind of over there, up a little bit on the hillside. So we do live on a slope. Our house is built into the hillside. At the front of our house is on stilts. So we really truly are built in to the hill. So I'm sitting on a sloped area, but it's not as sloped as it could be. And I always knew that this was the spot of the former garden. So they had the same idea I did, just build, farther up because they couldn't build on the septic field. And I really thought it was just the previous owners, the owners that we bought the house from. We knew them. And my husband said, this wasn't their garden. It was the people before them. It was their garden. So, and I know the people who lived here before us lived here for 25 years or so. So, and we've lived here for almost 20. So the garden spot here is at least 50 years old, probably. The posts right behind me are the original gate posts for what was a fenced-in area up here for their garden. So that's really, really cool. And I'm going to use those posts to make a new gate. They're really cattywampus. That is the true bend on them, I promise. It's not a camera thing. They are bent like that. Over the years, they've just sort of gone that way, but they're sturdy. They're really far into the ground, so I'm not going to pull them out or anything. I'll just build a gate that's cattywampus to go with them. It'll be like a Beetlejuice gate. So this area I've decided is going to be my fire pit and pond area, which I've always wanted a pond and have never found a good enough spot for it. So I decided up here would be the best spot for it, especially if I'm going to be using this as a chill out zone. This spot is sort of between the terrace beds and the mushroom beds, and this is part of the trail to get up the hillside. We have a whole bunch of switchbacks to get up. We only have an acre of land. It just seems a lot bigger than that when you look at it because it's forested and also on a hillside. So that kind of gives you, it's like a different perspective, I guess. It fools your eyes, but anyway, a lot of this area is still open, and there's a few crummy trees here that we'll probably take out. I won't take out anything beneficial, but we have a bunch of spirea that's escaped from the previous owners planting it, and it's just kind of escaped up to the hillside, so that'll all go. Anything that's not beneficial up here will definitely be pulled out. And I haven't decided yet how I'm going to build it, whether it's going to be on terraces or if I'm going to try to dig out to make a flatter spot, because it is still sloped. It's just not, it's not as sloped as up there. So I will do what I can. But other than that, things are going really well. We have been working on the garden. I also have some seeds started in the basement. I've got peppers, tomatoes, onions, and leeks. And I will be starting some flowers very soon. Anything that the birds will eat the seeds from, I'll be starting the flowers in the basement and then getting those out. They don't have to be that big, but otherwise, if I just throw the seeds out for some of them, like coneflowers and sunflowers, the birds eat them, and I never get any flowers out of them. So I just need to start a few of them. Not all of them need to be started inside. I started some rhubarb. I have no idea how that will go. There's a small flat of it. I think I have 18 plants started. Well, their seeds started. And those will be tucked into the spots where I couldn't put beds in the terrace garden. And maybe some other spots around the yard, wherever I can find a hole that needs a perennial plant. And then comfrey, I'll be filling in hopefully with some comfrey as well. Get some bee food out there. And that's a perennial. I like perennials because I don't have to replant them. So moving into the vegetable and annual kind of a thing is, I've grown things before, obviously, but I really love to grow perennials just because they're a kind of set it and forget it sort of plant. I mean, you come maybe trim them back every couple months or something, but other than that, I'm a pretty lazy gardener, I would say. And yeah, I really want to kind of try a bunch of new things out that I have not grown yet, like rhubarb. I've not grown that. I know it grows in Alaska on our property up there, but I'm not sure how well it's going to do here, so we'll see. It is more of a cool weather kind of a crop, so I don't know how it's going to fare on the hillside, but we'll see how it does. And yeah, we'll go from there. So happy Pie Day for all the nerds, and hope you get to enjoy some pie on Pie Day. Daylight saving time can just, I wish that would go away. It's a dumb notion. And happy spring-ish. It's still chilly. Obviously, I'm still wearing my puffy coat, but over a t-shirt, so that's great. You know, I'm just kind of waiting for the weather to really, truly shift before I get any plants out. Our last frost date is April 11th-ish. Last year, we were a full month late. We got a frost on Mother's Day last year. So last year's garden was odd for a lot of reasons. One, mine was slapdash thrown together. I did get quite a lot of harvest out of it, but it was really sort of pitched out at the last minute. And I'd been waiting to put things out, but couldn't because we just kept getting frosts. So yeah, we were a month late on our last frost date, and then in the fall, our first frost came early. Our first frost here in Zone 7 in my area is October 27th, and we got it a couple weeks early. And since I'm on the mountain, we have microclimates here where some people wouldn't have frost. We do. And sometimes when people have a little bit of wind, we have a lot of wind. Since we're up on the mountain, we get a lot of wind. So that can kind of damage plants as well. So I have a little bit of a different growing situation. But I'm gonna work on it this year. This is the first of the garden videos for the spring, for the growing season really. So I'm hoping to bring you one a week. And yeah, just happy spring, happy Pie Day. And with that, I'll catch you outside.